Hey guys, so net neutrality is dead.
So is my heart.
Fuck those bastards! I can't believe, Joe. I can't believe such a small group of people, 3 of the 5 FCC members voted to destroy net neutrality, voted in favor for the massive corporations like AT&T, Verizon, Comcast, and completely ignored their job, the American people. More than 80 to 90% of people do not support this decision. We want net neutrality, and we want to make sure that the net is protected from corporate greed, corporate interests, throttling, and fucking bullshit, okay? And censorship. And we lost on December 14th, 4 days ago. Now, I'm making the video now because I still think it's important. I wanted to put it into your minds that every time we talk about net neutrality or every time something comes up where we need your help and action, we need to make sure that this happens, okay? We're going to make this a voting issue every time you're electing somebody. We need to know what is that person's stance on net neutrality, okay? So net neutrality is dead. We need to get it back. You know, it's really important. I mean, without it, this is what your internet is going to look like. I think this is like a glitch or something right now on YouTube, right? So I was, doing some research, and I was watching some various videos, and watch what happens when I watch Jim Sterling's net neutrality video. I hope this happens again.
So rather unsurprisingly, the FCC has voted to get rid of net neutrality, meaning that Comcast and its scumbag ilk can piss on us with impunity.
Yep.
While the FCC's Ajit Pai continues to lie about how we're only rolling back changes to 2015,
I
the
fucking
rest of
hate
us
that
have
argument.
to worry about our
I'll
connections
tell
being
you how to
throttled,
counter
about
that
being
argument, why that
railroaded
argument's
into
bullshit.
paying for internet fast lanes, about companies deciding what video.
That's what you're going to expect.
This is the internet. This is going to be your internet now. It's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen 6 months. It's not going to happen a year or two. This is probably going to be down along the line when shit has calmed down and these corporations know that people are fucking complacent again, okay? This is going to happen 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 20 years. The internet is going to look different if we don't have net neutrality. How is this relevant? When people are talking shit about the big companies that are running your fucking shit, this is what's going to happen, okay? They're going to throttle it. They're going to slow it down, and you're going to have to sit here and wait for the rest to fucking load because it's not in a fucking fast lane, you see? Or I didn't buy the YouTube Premiere package that I get the better speeds because I use YouTube a lot. Or I've gone over my allotment of whatever because I'm trying to bring y'all a show, but now I can't watch other shit.
I'm pretty sure you can see Jeep Pie's video he made after. And there's no loading time on that piece of shit that came out.
That guy is
Did you see it?
seriously, I saw it.
That
It's
was
such
ridiculous.
a piece of fucking shit. The points in it tells you that he thinks, and the people that support him thinks you are fucking stupid. He literally thinks that all of America is stupid. And sometimes I think sometimes he's right, but we have to prove him wrong. You have to stand up. You have to say no, Ajit Pai. You have to say no, fucking agenda, the corporate agenda. And sometimes Republicans are towing this line, this pro-corporate bullshit, to pull the wool over your eyes and say, oh, this is good. Especially that one argument about, it wasn't like this before 2015. We're just trying to go back to 2015. I got a perfect counter argument for that. But look at this shit. It's not fucking loading. And you know what's going to happen is right there at the bottom part, you're going to get a little advertisement popping up while this is trying to load, a little advertisement popping up from Verizon saying,
upgrade.
No, it's going to say, it'll say upgrade if you want a different package, but it'll say experiencing slow load speeds on YouTube. Why not try VerizTube, right? You know what I'm saying, Joe? And no. I just really can't stand the argument. You know, the anti-government people are the only ones that are in support of this, but they don't realize that they're fucking licking the balls of the corporate interests. Sometimes
care about you,
regulation
yeah.
is needed. You can't let things go out of control. And even those of you that support limited government realize that, yeah, sometimes regulation is needed. This is one of those times. Otherwise, the internet is going to fundamentally change the way that we consume it in a negative way. They're going to fuck you. How many times do we have examples of, you know, giving them a small little thing and them taking a mile
lot.
and going super far? So, see, okay, it's done. It says, fuck that. You can't watch the rest of the video. So that might have just been a YouTube glitch, but I thought it was a perfect way to show you guys what the internet is going to be like now without net neutrality further down along the lines. And mark my words, if we don't get this back, it's exactly what's going to happen. So I've got a net neutrality, some points here to make, and I'd like to do that with y'all. Today, the FCC freed the internet from public utility style regulation to encourage investment and innovation. That is so much bullshit, man. It crushes investment and innovation because any new startups like Twitter or Twitch or the new Netflix is going to be crushed by these big mega corporations that already have all the power and enough power to crush any new startup.
Throttle them back.
Without throttle them or exactly. So and oh my God, it just blows my mind that people are fucking eating this bullshit up, especially this. The FCC just voted to restore the long-standing bipartisan approach to protecting internet freedom. This also plays into the pre-2015, and it's so full of shit, guys. And the internet can fucking show you how full of shit it is. But they don't listen to you. They don't listen to anybody. But who do they listen to? Corporate interests. They're already fucking bought and sold. They listen to money. So what's actually happening is a few states are suing the FCC right now. So that's going to be step number one. All right, here's a list of states that are actually, the following states will join New York, who started this, in suing the FCC to defend net neutrality. All these states. And I tweeted to him, I was like, where's Texas? Where's Texas? I need Texas up on this list. If you want Texas, Texas have been trying real hard to get new tech companies over here. You're going to ruin all that if you allow these few 5 companies to have all that much power over the internet. So there's step one. We're going to fucking flood them with legal stuff. We're going to take them to court. We're going to say you completely ignored the American people. They've also, Joe, there was a bunch of fraudulent comments on there. People's identities being stolen. There was a bunch of fake comments that said, we don't support net neutrality. You remember that? And there's probably comments that say we support net neutrality. They're fake too. And so there needed to be an investigation going on to see where those were coming from and why they sort of skewed the numbers. But even if they skewed the numbers were still overwhelmingly in support of net neutrality, and they still ignored it. So it really doesn't matter. But that is another type of lawsuit and thing that we can hold on to as hopefully getting us back on track. So who did this? Okay, we need to remember. We got Verizon, Comcast, Time Warner, and AT&T, and there's one more that basically have all this power. Over 80 to 90% of Americans told them not to do this, okay? And some creators of the internet, we know today, the pioneers of the internet, it's a collection group that wrote an open letter that said, this is bad, don't do this, you don't understand the internet. Did they listen? No, fucking course not, because they've been bought. It's just amazing to me that they're going to listen to these over this, you know? And so who did it? Well, you got 5 members on the FCC. They voted party lines, misspellings here, but you got 3 Republicans all voted for, taking away our freedom and taking away net neutrality. And what's blowing me away is Ajit Pai says, oh, that's hyperbolic. All the reaction is hyperbolic in order to really just dismiss everybody's voice. And, that's where I make the point that 20 internet moguls and pioneers wrote this letter. If he can go ahead and dismiss the American public as ignorant and stupid, and we could be easily misled, is I guess his point, then what about the most important people, the people that actually know how the internet works? He dismissed them too.
Oh yeah, he's being disrespectful also at the hearing because one of them was giving their statement and everything. He's like, "So I'll put you down as a no," and everybody starts laughing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
really?
Yeah, that's
You're
pretty messed
an
up.
official. Don't be a fucking douchebag.
One of the other Democratic FCC members was giving passionate speeches. Two of those people gave passionate speeches why this is wrong, why they shouldn't do this, and it didn't matter. The 3 Republicans said we're voting party lines, line our pockets, and after we're done with this job, whoop whoop. They don't give a fuck,
They don't.
Joe.
They seriously don't.
This doesn't help the economy. It doesn't create innovation. These are the facts. So what this does is it does the exact opposite. You're handing a select few corporation the keys to the internet to do whatever they want with it, okay? They said they will have paid prioritization. They're already modifying all their mission statements and things to allow them to include these types of things. What this does is it creates an unfair advantage to those few companies. Now, I don't know how this can happen in America. Really, this for something that it's the people don't want, because normally, yeah, I see how it can happen because of money, and you can make an argument that America's ruled by corporations already at this point.
It is.
But there are checks and balances to that of voting people out, and the voters' rights and power of saying, well, you don't want to vote our way, fine, you're not gonna get office, and they get scared. They're fuck, and they change their stance. But here, it was completely out of our hands. It was closed off to the public, and that's what bothers me the most. Is that, and in addition to that, the FCC they didn't, and the people in charge of trying to destroy net neutrality never held a single open meeting to hear from the American public, not one. And they usually do in this situation. And why? For a very specific reason.
It's like you know exactly why.
Because it's an imminent threat to the internet, and it's got to be stopped. Okay. And so here, what I hate the most, guys, is when I see people who have been conned and are arguing for corporate interests, but they don't realize that they're actually arguing against themselves and their other fellow Republican constituents. And I'm not attacking Republicans because the majority of Republicans actually agree with us on this issue. The smart ones are like, no, this is wrong. Why are we doing this? And, and it's just because some people will toe a party line no matter what. And it blows me away that these people are so manipulated. I mean, somebody can stab them in the chest and they'll be like, yeah, see, fuck you, Obama.
Take that.
They're like, argue against themselves. Take that. And it blows me away. And so I've seen these counter arguments pop up, mainly from trolls or people from Russia too. Joe, I'm serious. Like I looked at some accounts and I looked at where their location is in Russia. I'm like, what the fuck do you care?
Like, what are you
They're
doing?
running some sort of. Anyways, that's all besides the point. But let's talk about some of the arguments that these people will put up against you, right? Well, one of the major arguments to mislead people is that the internet was just fine before 2015 when we put in a lot of these protections in place. So let's just remove the protections because it was fine before the protections. That's literally the argument. Do you hear yourself? How can you stand being a mouthpiece for someone who just doesn't have the interest in your mind? The corporations have not yet, or, the market at that time wasn't ready to handle all the shit that they plan to do. This is one, counter argument. And so what you're saying is because they haven't done anything shitty yet, right? Let's just remove the protections against them doing anything shitty in the future. Like, what the fuck? I don't understand how people can be so fucking stupid. You're wrong. They've done shitty things in the past, and they will do shitty things in the future. And 3, you need to grow a backbone and do your own research, because I was just lying then. They have already done shitty shit, and here it is. And I found this post on Reddit because this is, that argument comes up a lot. Oh, before 2003, 2015, everything was fine. That's misinformation. Yes, net neutrality was put into law in 2015, but that doesn't mean things were fine before it. We've had decades on this topic. We've had plenty of stuff. And then they give you, here is all the examples before 2015 where these companies are stepping out of line. And there's links to every single one of these, okay? So if anybody ever tries to tell you that, everything was fine before then, so let's just repeal all the protections in the future, you're an idiot. You're arguing against yourself, and you're wrong in the first place because here's all the proof. And the second place is, even if there wasn't any proof here, it doesn't prevent them from then doing something shitty in the future. And that's why we need net neutrality to ensure that they don't do something shitty in the future. So it just fucking pisses me off. Killing net neutrality has brought a new call for public broadband. Okay, there's like an idea that it's like, okay, well, obviously it's corporations and shit, and higher level government like the FCC isn't going to protect us. What about local and city and state? If we build municipal broadbands who, don't throttle and won't fuck things up because they will, adhere to a specific list of requirements that mimics net neutrality, then hell, I'll fucking unplug Comcast. I'll fucking get rid of Time
Hit him
Warner.
where it hurts in the pocketbook.
Hit him where it hurts in the pocketbook, and we'll just go with, city. But of course, guess what's happening? Those 5 companies are trying to prevent municipals from creating their own, saying, oh, well, government can't run this stuff because they don't know how, and they'll fuck it up.
Oh, really?
I'm not fucking joking with you guys. Like, it couldn't be any more fucking apparent what these people are trying to do, and it just blows my mind. So that's my angry rant on the fact that corporations are really just pushing us around these days, and it shocks me. It shocks me, guys. Especially the new tax cuts. I don't want to get into all this other stuff, but these new tax cuts. There are some tax cuts for the middle, the middle class, but they're like little concessions, little deductibles here and there. When the majority of it is for higher tax bracket, and I'm in a higher tax bracket than you, and I'm actually arguing against my own interests because I think it's messed up. Well, I obviously run a business and I have employees, and and what they want to do is just cut the corporate tax rate by a ton, right? And then some of the higher brackets, they're giving them even bigger breaks for their fucking yachts and their personal jets. I'm not joking. And their estates when they hand them over to their family. I'm not joking. And yet, how do they pay for all these things at the higher level? Well, they give you less. You see, the middle class less. And we could have got much bigger tax breaks over here in the middle class and start injecting more money into the economy. But no, they still believe that this trickle-down economics works, though it's failed time and time again. And yet this is about to be pushed through because you have both Republicans and controlling both houses, and we got, of course, Trump. And it's going to go through, and it just blows my mind how something like that can go through when you have, like, objective data like this. Here's the share of the total U.S. income per percentile, and ever since 1980, so this pretty much around the same time they came up with this trickle-down economics. Here we go, the top 10% is, whoa, what the hell just happened there? But that's not even damning. How about the average household income? Here's your top 1% that's getting some tax breaks. Whoop, 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 benefiting, yeehaw! And here's the rest of us. Yeah, here's the share and around that same time. We want to give tax cuts to these higher ones, continued tax cuts over and over and over. And here's the biggest one, okay? And this ties into what I'm talking about with net neutrality and corporations pushing us around. And eventually, we're going to notice that the American people are going to be like, okay, what the fuck? Look at this. Here's corporate profits. And here is labor share of those profits. Look at this. Look at what's happening. And you guys want to cut their corporate taxes, which they don't even pay for their corporate taxes in the first place. They find all sorts of loopholes. And there are a ton of top 100 companies that don't even pay fucking taxes, but we're cutting all their taxes even more, and we're giving middle class and poor people tiny little deductions here and there so that they feel good. Oh, yeah, she saves $400 every year.
You get an extra sticker.
Yeah, you get an extra fucking sticker. And it blows me away that people are buying this, hook, line, and sinker on party lines. And that's why I'm so mad about net neutrality, because it is the most blatant attempt of the corporations having more say and power over the American people.
It's gonna be another tax cut.
It couldn't be any more apparent. 90% of us don't want this, but the 5 corporations do, and they're won. They won. So we're not ending this fight for net neutrality. Fine, you want to cut taxes for the rich and just give tiny concessions to the poor and middle class? Fine, I don't give a shit about that, but I'm going to fucking take a stand on fucking net neutrality. I mean, look at it. I mean, these are trends. We have to. You want to continue these trends, and we're getting a tax cut right here to continue those trends. It's gonna get at a point. It's gonna get
it's gonna get
insane
ridiculous.
that shit is gonna go down, guys. Profits up, wages down. But yeah, here it goes. Corporate profits are up, but hey, you know what? Let's give them more fucking tax breaks. And they'll come up with bullshit excuses like fucking, oh, well, they'll put the jobs overseas if we don't cut their tax rates. They don't even pay the current taxes over here. They're going to continue to do that. And you're going to give them even more ammunition to do that. So just forget it. Forget it. Yeah, I'll come back later and tell you I told you so, okay? But for net neutrality, I am not finishing this fight because this affects our business, this affects the future of the internet, and this affects free speech, this affects innovation. It affects so much, so... I'm sorry, Joe. I'm just so passionate about this stuff.
Oh, no worries.
You're here right with me, right? You understand?
Yeah.
It's just,
It's a fucking scary thing,
It
man.
is scary.
I'm going into the new year, I'm scared already. It's not looking good.
Yeah, it sucks, and hopefully we can turn this around. So just stay vigilant, guys. And I just wanted to put my opinion out there after net neutrality's dead. It's officially dead, but we're not gonna give up the fight. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your time, and I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, guys.